we were there talking for a whole bloody 5 minutes and nothing. But to be honest, your energy wasn't where it needed to be. So let's go again.
Good morning, beautiful people. It is Tuesday, the 8th of April. Welcome to TDA.
All right.
The day after.
All right.
Your favorite news platform.
All right.
And the home of
Come
popular
on.
culture
Come
as
on.
defined by
Come on.
you guys, the culture.
Come on.
We're hosted by the best, man.
Yes.
How you doing, Brent?
Blessed and highly favored. How are you?
I'm all right, man.
All right, then. Gina told everybody yesterday that I'm looking to fire everybody.
Gina said that?
Yes. Yes. She decided to basically tell everybody what I've been talking about behind the scenes. Obviously, because it's now 8:30, right? Nobody's supposed to start at 8. And it's just you and I in the building. You just can't continue because the people need the information.
True indeed.
The people need to be connected to the information that matters, the information that changes their lives and whatnot, right? Because it in fact impacts everybody, right? Especially blacks. So blacks don't normally like to listen to the news and stuff, innit?
I never
So
said
they're never really informed.
I never said it.
But you do normally say that.
I don't think I've said that.
Never mind. You said the blacks don't read. That's what you say. That's why you hide.
I said we don't read enough.
All right, okay. Then the blacks read enough. The blacks read enough. I'm speaking into existence.
That's it.
Yes, cool. First of all, shout out to Heather.
Big up Heather, man.
She is the TNB plug. I wouldn't say TDA plug. I think she's a TDA plug. TNB plug, sorry. She's always working behind the scenes, looking to further this particular vision of ours, like in a massive, massive way. Cool. I said yesterday, I am looking for a plumber.
Okay.
A qualified plumber who's good, who's reasonable, price-wise, who's competent. And it was for Sarah, right?
Yep.
And boom, she came through.
Oh, beautiful.
She's like, look, I know a great plumber. She is North London, and she's a woman.
Well,
So why did you just do that?
No, he said she.
Heather knows a
Okay.
plumber. And then she, Heather, said she's a woman.
Dope,
Right? So I'm like, whoa, this is great. Amazing. I want to see a female plumber.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it'll be lovely to see a female plumber. Right?
Yeah.
And one that is competent. Do you understand? Because a
black.
lot of male plumbers aren't.
100%.
A lot of male plumbers are not competent.
That's a fact.
So it's good that there is a female plumber that is competent. Anyway, I've sent on the information. God willing, she is as you suggested she is, and she's dope. But it also also reminded me, and I think Sarah also kind of mentioned it, that we should definitely have a directory connected to TNB, right? Because if we are building something everybody's going to be looking at, right? Why not have this directory where it's easy to basically find the handyman you need, the handy woman you need, the handy vase, and the competent ones. So you'll have a feedback rating system so that you stay away from the ones that are rubbish. In fact, as soon as it is you get enough bad ratings, you're off.
Yeah.
You can't be getting enough free labor. You're off. And take a picture. So it's not just like a words that you're seeing and somebody turns up and like, oh, they expect you. No. Whoever's on the bloody picture, you expect them to turn up. You know what I'm saying?
True indeed.
Safeguarding and that. You get me? Yeah. But yes, that's something that we're definitely going to incorporate into the platform. And I think that'll be so super duper useful. Super duper useful.
100%.
Yeah. Builders also.
All of that, man.
Moses also said yesterday, sorry, Moses, I met Moses yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, I said it before, but nobody heard it. Right? We spent a good 6 hours talking. Stephen was there too, and he mentioned something about fasting, right? And I was wondering, because he said fasting, when he fasted, it brought him closer to God, right? Something happened in his body that basically facilitated this particular process. I asked you when nobody was listening, right? Because they didn't have a chance to listen. I didn't press live. I asked you how that is possible, if that's possible. And I called you a well-read, learned man. It was important for me to be saying that again because I'm going to be jumping on that again just now. Go on.
I think it's important. I think since man has had consciousness of a supreme being, I think that's always been a way that we've kind of used to heighten our senses. You know what I'm saying?
Is it in your hat?
Huh?
Is it in your hat design?
Oh yeah.
You got the old joints. When I say the old joints, obviously the people you're gonna be able to have all of the joints, right? But obviously I test stuff out all the time. Yeah, so something came yesterday. I quickly looked it up. This is wavy, right? Got this in white too, with the black.
With the black.
Yeah. Skeleton. Then I have the smaller circle, clean, and then a smaller version of the badge that you have on your head. Right? So all the different applications. Just imagine being able to put a smaller one on the cover of this. Cleaner. Sorry.
People, it's coming, man. It's coming.
Sorry. Continue.
But yeah, man. But basically, I think all the things that basically make us human. You know what I mean? Like that can be noise when you're trying to connect with the spiritual realm. By removing those things, I think it allows you to really just straighten and strengthen your antennas, isn't it? I think that's essentially what the process is. So various religions, various cultures, they've all kind of adopted the same sort of mechanism.
Fantastic. Moses also basically spoke about watching Terence Howard, most recent interview with PBD? Yeah, Patrick David something.
Yeah, Patrick. David.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
No, I've not seen it yet, man.
I'm not seen it.
Yeah.
He really loved it.
Oh, is it?
Of course.
What does that
he
mean?
also said he now understands the whole 1 × 1 = 2 thing.
God. Moses, man.
No, don't say that. Watch it first. Because the Chinese professor, he basically, stepped in and said a few things, and it's like, okay. Now I see what you.
All right.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing now. I don't know how to do an accent like that. He basically said, "No, I see what's happening. This is what you're doing over here, and this is what we do over here, right? And you are focusing on this, the universe and how it's supposed to be interpreted, and we are focusing on the theory. But anyway." When it take the time, but that's not even important. That part wasn't important.
Okay.
The rest of the exchange was important because even the professor brought his own theories to the mix, and he spoke about electrons.
Okay.
And how the world has gotten it all wrong.
Okay.
And I wonder if it is, you're going to be reacting to him in a manner in which it is that you reacted to Terence when he said that everybody got gravity wrong.
Oh, so the Chinese man was saying gravity's wrong too.
Why did you just focus on that other than the electrons that I just told you about?
No, because I don't know about that. I've not seen what he's saying, innit?
Okay.
Remember, this is new to me, innit? You're telling me something. I haven't seen anything.
You focus on the gravity bit, but not the electrons bit.
No, just to clarify if he was saying the same thing as Terence on the gravity too.
Oh, basically he allowed him to get his ish off.
Okay.
And on the gravity bit, he used a term. I don't know if it was it wasn't contracting, subtracting, something, right? And then Terence was like, I like that, right? That is the thing I like, so I'm going to start using that. But watch the exchange. It was fantastic. It was fabulous, like fantabulous.
You know what the thing is? Yeah, I think it is good when people have that space to give certain people grace in it. You know what I mean? Because obviously this Chinese man is maybe appreciating the fact that Terence Howard doesn't maybe think like a lot of people, and so he's thinking there's something noble about it, and something that can be gained from this. And typically, I think teachers will say this all the time: if they come across a child who doesn't think in the same way as everybody else, at least there's something. If they see potential and the child willing to learn, there's something that can be coached there. You know what I'm saying? To yield something that's profitable. So maybe they see that same thing in Terence Howard.
Coached,
Yeah.
Coach will still imply conforming to
more so
norm.
No. More so, I just mean in terms of just coaching somebody to really to think in it and not just take on certain things, but know how to think. So you think differently, enhance that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like in X-Men. All these people got bare different mutations, right? They don't try to make them into something. You know what I mean? That's uniform across the board. They say, yo, whatever that thing is, this is how you're able to enhance it and control it.
To harness what they have.
Yeah.
But that's okay, cool. But that suggests that there's a hella benefit to the power that those mutants have.
Potentially, yeah.
So you're saying there's hella benefit to what Terence has?
In terms of him being able to think outside the box, 100%. I think anybody who can think outside the box, it can be a good thing, 100%. Everything in this world that you see is of value to us. It's because somebody thought different to everybody else. Everything.
This is the upside down. I'm sorry. Remember what we've been doing, going back and forth, joisting over Terence Howard. You're saying that you're not taking anything seriously because 1 times 1 is not 2.
Remember, I'm not going back on what I'm saying. I'm saying he's wrong about.
Then stick with that. Don't
I'm not
look
changing
to now
anything.
say that he can harness it to do the world
please. I
good.
I need
And
to
you've
be
been
clear.
saying that forever.
I
The
need to-
fact that he thinks differently is the greatest thing ever.
No,
Don't now look to move because
Please
I
understand,
don't
I'm
want you to
not-
move until it is. You're forced to move.
Please understand, I'm not moving. Please understand this.
Good.
The guy doesn't know what he's talking about. What I'm saying
Crazy
is,
bars.
what I'm saying is,
Crazy bars.
What I'm saying is, when somebody doesn't think like the rest of us, it can be a good thing. It can be stupid, and we can see where they end up, or it can be coached to be used for something proper. But you need to have the foundations. Maths is empirical. Like, we need real things.
Let's stop talking about this because
Let's stop.
you can't be speaking on things you haven't seen.
I'm just speaking. That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking generally. I'm just speaking about somebody who thinks outside of the box. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Why? It's kind of like even people listening to podcasters and stuff. You want to listen to somebody who regurgitate the same bollocks every single day, does the same thing as everybody else. Why would you do it? Why not listen to the original?
There's no way you're comparing like social commentary podcasters.
I'm just
to
talking about something.
Terence Howard.
I'm just talking about something that's different. You know what I mean? And with the right coaching, the right foundation, that different mind can take you to somewhere else.
Do you think
know what I mean?
think outside the box?
I think so. Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah. That's it.
Who's gonna coach you
He's going to coach me.
to harness all that untapped power?
I think over the years I've been coached though.
By who?
By just my observation of certain
So you
things.
coach yourself? Look at this guy.
I don't think it's myself that's coaching. It's just because I expose myself to certain things, isn't it? Certain things that's foundational to human existence. That's all.
So nobody helps to coach you, but
No, but that's what I'm saying. Teachers would have coached me. People I interact with
I
would
asked
have
you just
coached me.
now, who?
Yeah. I can't name people like that. But what I'm trying to say is my surroundings, things would have, you know what I mean? The foundation that you get from just normal life, observation and interaction with people.
We spoke about you a lot yesterday. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I noticed.
Did you hear any of the bars that we dropped? We were giving you your praises, man.
And that wasn't the case.
We were giving you your praises?
No, it wasn't the case.
You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that, man.
But Gina said that you're hella layered.
No, well,
And
big
I
up-
agreed.
Big up Gina.
I agreed. For the
people's
seen
hating
and
on me.
unseen things, you are hella layered.
Yeah, you know, I think everybody is to some degree. innit?
Really? I don't think so.
No?
No. I think some people are just as they present themselves. There's nothing
true.
else.
I guess that
And
can be true.
that's not an indictment
It's
on
not bad.
them.
No, not at all.
Because
I don't think
sometimes
that's a bad thing.
the people calling people layered is because they're hiding things. And then they discover the next thing later on, and they're all bad. And it all hurts them. Oh man. Anyway, how did your daughter say the play date went?
Yeah, she said she had a good time, man.
Did she stop talking about it when she got back?
Well, when she got back, she wasn't talking as much. She was eating a lot of sweets that Gina bought her. Thank you, Gina, for that one. And but she had a good time, man. She had a good time, yeah. But you know, she always talks about coming to the studio, man. She loves it here as well. You know what I mean? So and it's really good, I guess, because she always talks about Gina and Esther, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So, you know, she wants to go there, see Auntie Gina, see Auntie Esther. She always, if I talk about one person, for example, like Auntie Gina taking her out,
Yeah.
she'll always think, mention Auntie Esther too. You know what I'm saying?
Serious.
Yeah, 100%. Because she's seen positive black women on screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And from the day she was born, I've always tried to push that to her. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in her seeing other crap. Sorry, not other crap. I'm just interested in her seeing black people. You know what I mean? Positive black people doing positive things. That's all.
All right, a couple of comments from the community.
JJ Classic and son, big up JJ Classic and your son. Whatever he or she says, release the TMB merch already. LOL. Release the TMB merch already. I hope you'll be getting one of each in every size and every color.
That is a lot. That's gonna be a lot. And I also just briefly saw. Shout out. Keep remember. Shout out my G. Tony.
Big up Tony.
And he works in TV.
Oh yeah, tall Tony.
Yeah, tall handsome Tony.
Big up Tony, man.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
He had sent a message yesterday. Please, I said I would send it. I'll let you
to read
check
out.
it, but you weren't here yesterday. Not read it out.
Oh, okay.
It's just for you.
Okay.
You can come here.
Hold on a sec, people.
I can throw it to you if you want.
Yeah, try.
You can go into the picture as well.
Come on. Hey, that's fine, man. That's fine. We need some competition. You know what I'm saying?
And there you go.
I like it.
Throw back. Okay.
Sorry.
That's right.
You okay? What do you want?
All right.
Yes. We back.
And there is a
Another
comment from Christy. Where is Christy? Christy, mind how you're running, you might drop. If you hear any beautiful angelic songs that sound feminine, it's because Emmanuel's daughter is in the stew. Where is the comment from Christy? Anyway, let me read it out.
Gone?
Christy basically said, if you could listen to Kanye, you could listen to Terence.
I mean...
And then Ephraim says, why do you tolerate Kanye but not Terence Howard? And then MJT says, both Kanye and Terence Howard ain't okay, man. Now, I'm convinced, right, any of the anti-Terence comments is because these people have not listened to or are not even interested in any of the stuff that he says, right? Because he does speak in a frequency that I myself, I find it interesting to follow.
All right.
Because I do even believe he makes words up.
Of course he does.
But I make up words too. So maybe that's why I have a... It's not going to be seen. Yeah, because the camera's over here, and that's not on. I can't remember where I was. Anyway, so...
You like the way... You like following Terence Howard's... the stuff he says?
I like the playfulness in the curiosity.
Okay.
And if he isn't making up words, I love the fact that it sounds like he's making up words, right? And and the Chinese professor, like, he can't speak English too tough. He can speak it enough to communicate, but it's still difficult. It'll be easier for him to say everything he wanted to do in his native tongue, right? And you could tell he was so excited about even suggesting that the world got electrons wrong. And bear in mind, he said, if it is, he said, I've corrected it, by the way, right? But he keeps information away from his peers because they might also think that he's a
loony.
Right? So I don't know if it's kindred souls that were there, but he's working for NASA.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
yeah, but he's working for NASA, so he's a functioning.
But that's the thing. He knows the foundation, though. I'm even sounding like I'm sounding stupid even saying that.
Watch it. They were following each other.
Yeah, but I think that's because Terence reads a lot, though. I think he reads a lot.
But you read a lot.
What does that mean?
What did you mean it when you said Terence reads a lot?
So that's why he's able to follow
apply the same thing to what I just said to you.
No, because that means he's able to follow what he's saying. Like,
yes.
But when Terence then goes off on one, sometimes you see some. You know what the thing is? It's kind of like barbershop scholarship. And again, I know a lot of people.
What is that?
When people kind of they just kind of read loads of books, right? And there's no real solid foundation upon to build that
about
stuff.
Understanding and grasping what. So
exactly.
you just regurgitate stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because they maybe didn't have the 101 modules. You see what I'm saying? That creates that solid foundation to build upon.
Yes.
A lot of people just go into the heavy but and just read it because they can read English.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the things with a lot of the issue is with Terence is that. You know what I'm saying? So
you see the interesting part about anytime I speak about Terence and I hear people's pushback is he's not just theorizing things.
Yeah.
He's built things. And what you're seeing that he's built, it's operational. Right?
Okay.
And it's outside of what is currently available. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not just me getting wowed by how he's waxing lyrical. He's actually doing with his hands. And he's saying, please, test me, stress test me. This thing that I'm saying, stress test it to prove it wrong.
You have to understand, sometimes people don't do that because they know it's a waste of time. Do you get what I'm saying?
When you say that, it suggests as though they know that it's a waste of time.
Yes, because sometimes they give them the time.
I heard you say 1 × 1 = 2, and I think you're an idiot, and I'm not going to engage.
Yeah, but I think, look at Neil deGrasse Tyson, yeah? He gave him the time. He took his paper. He did.
Don't mention Neil deGrasse Tyson. He himself, he's a stuck-up, pompous individual.
Why is that, though?
Why does he do that? I don't know why.
Why do you say that about him?
Every time I see him talking about things outside of what it is that he would deem worthy enough to talk about, it sounds like he's just ishing on it. And he does it in such a cavalier way. I don't like those type of people anyway.
Why do you think he? Obviously, I don't know. I'm asking.
I'm not talking about him addressing flat Earth theories and stuff. I'm not talking about that
cool,
at all.
But is it more so?
Remember, he was also asked about the whole what is a woman stuff, right?
Yeah, I think I saw his foolishness on that.
But you see what you did?
Yeah.
You see what you did just now?
Yeah.
You saw his foolishness on that. What did he respond by saying?
I can't remember, but
and
I remember
it's what
at the
you
time,
deemed foolish. So now, all right, cool, that's foolish. But everything else, there's no way he can basically approach anything else in a foolish manner.
No,
with Terence, he says something that you deem foolish, and everything else you throw away.
No, it's not because of that. It's because, to me at least, again, I could be wrong, innit? I'm not on these guys' level, innit? But what I am saying, to me anyway, is based on maths and science, innit? He was talking about the gender thing, if I haven't got it wrong, as a matter of opinion. And for however many years, we've always seen it as a biological exercise. X is this, X and Y is this. There's how many genders, there's how many sexes, there's whatever it may be. I think he was more so speaking in a language that kind of includes all the new things that we have nowadays. And obviously from a biological standpoint, that doesn't make any sense, right? But from a social standpoint, he's right. He's right about that. You know what I'm saying? But I call it foolishness because I'm seeing sex and biology and chromosomes from a biological standpoint. I'm not stepping out to say, okay, cool. In the realm of social constructs, this makes sense. I'm not doing that. But if I did, he'll be right. Because that's what we're seeing today. People are living and functioning as what's these? I don't even know what they're called now. But there's other letters, right? There's other chromosomes. I don't know what it is. But basically, people are functioning in the world like that. How do you say it's not real when they're here and they exist? Do you get what I'm saying? But from a biological standpoint, it's just not real.
Can I ask, what would it take for you to credit Terence Howard for the obvious genius or intellect, I should say instead? Let me retract the genius. That might trigger you. The intellect that he is displaying.
I think anything. I don't think it'll take like much, you know. I think it's more so if he has a particular thought and he's able to explain that thought from here to the finish line and it makes sense mathematically, scientifically.
But he's been doing that.
No. To you, he has. He hasn't.
Stop. You keep getting stuck on the 1 × 1 thing.
I really am not. I've forgotten about that.
What else are you talking about?
I can't remember now.
Then
it requires going back to listen to 4 years.
Then don't engage
4
me
hours.
because I've watched it.
No, but I watched 4 hours.
If you can't give me an example
Yeah.
don't engage me with it. If you can't
but
give me
my
example.
brain doesn't do that. My brain, I can't store stuff like that. I
No.
can't do it.
No. You store the 1 times 1.
It's very easy to store.
Right.
It takes
So
like minimal space.
I'm telling you,
Yes.
I cannot entertain a conversation with you where
Yeah.
you lambast everything else and you can't even mention one other thing other than the 1 times 1 thing. I'm saying I can't do it.
Okay, fine.
Right? I'm not saying that you should be able to do this, that, and X.
Yeah.
You can say whatever. Just don't talk to me about it. Do you understand? I'm not going back and forth with you on that.
I hear you.
The exchange with the Chinese professor, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I liked when it's a Chinese professor said, look, you bringing something to the table, I'm bringing something to the table. And he also wanted to get his ish off, right? And he wanted to use his platform to do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was Terence or it was PBD who asked him, like, do you tell your peers about this? Right?
To the Chinese guy?
Yeah, because
Okay.
he too is saying, like, the world got this wrong. Right? And if it is that we got it right, everything will change. So he was saying the same thing that Terence was, but just in a different yard.
But when you say saying the same thing, what do you mean by
As in
saying the same thing?
the concept of this basic thing,
Yeah.
if we change the way we saw it, everything else that came from this understanding, this baseline, will change. Electrons.
Okay, but let me maybe say it like this. When you in science, yeah, when you say something is wrong or right, you're not allowed to just say it's wrong or right, innit? You have to have the maths behind it. You have to have the formula behind
Yes.
it. You have to have those things.
Yes.
It's very easy for someone to say this is wrong or
Yes.
right. There are regular Joes right now doing nothing respectfully of any value in the world
Yes.
that are saying certain things about science is wrong.
Yes.
Right? No one cares because you need to say something's wrong
And improve it.
and prove it.
Yes.
This Chinese man may be able to say the same thing as Terence is saying over here. Electrons is wrong, but he has science.
Yeah.
Terence, again,
Don't finish that sentence. You haven't watched it. Stop doing that. Do you understand?
I'm going to
you're,
listen to it.
You're not doing what you think you're doing.
what do you think I'm doing?
In my
I'm
mind, you
basing it
think
off
that
of-
you're actually making sense, but how can you verify that you're making sense if you haven't watched the thing?
I'm not talking about the latest thing. I have not seen that.
Then,
It's very clear.
then please,
But
I just mentioned
but
something from the latest
because
thing.
of you, I listened to Terence Howard for 4 hours with Eric Weinstein. Yeah, is it Weinstein? Or? Yeah, it's Weinstein. Yeah. So when I was listening to that, I was following what he was saying. I just don't remember it to quote it back to you. But I listened to it, and I wanted him to be right. I wanted things to be correct.
Why do you think I feel it's important to keep on kind of pushing you on changing your mind about Terence?
Why is it important for
Why
you?
do you think that I keep on bringing it back and bringing it back and bringing it back?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I think you need to understand, right? You, for me, come across as somebody who is asking the community to be open-minded about things that they had been traditionally stuck in, right?
Yeah.
They've just gone along with the mainstream thought, mainstream consciousness, and it hasn't benefited us, right? So on one day, you claim to be a supporter and advocate for free thinking,
Yeah.
right? For expansive thinking,
Yeah.
and curiosity, daring to go against the moon, go against the grain in order to affect positive change.
Yeah.
Yes? But in this case, you're not applying those same principles.
Because again, I've not listened to this one, so I will listen to it. But what? Okay,
Let me
go
finish
on.
my thought.
Yeah.
With Kanye, you asked us quite a long while to give him more time. You even tried to translate what he was saying. Maybe he's saying this, maybe he's saying that, maybe he's going to be doing this, maybe he's going doing that. But for Terence, like you've just, no, I'm not entertaining it.
Maybe it's because Ed put this in the chat as a joke. He basically said, "Well, Terence didn't give me college dropout. What I'm basically trying to say about that is more so that I think with Kanye West, his is more opinion. And with some of the things that he said, people have said it before and we've seen links. So when he was talking about people owning certain things, controlling certain things, this has been said since the 80s, people even further back. But we're now seeing somebody saying a similar sort of thing again with the power and voice that Kanye West has, right? So there's certain things there that kind of resonates with you. With Terence, it sounds as though he's getting into a field that he doesn't know much about, that he wants to know a lot about, right? But the foundations are shaky. And when you're talking to somebody when you're talking to people that know a little something about science, right? You went through you know what I mean? Like the university, even A-level formal education route, and you hear certain things that don't make sense, you automatically, you're just getting hit by, like your defensive mechanism understands that something's hitting you that doesn't make sense, but somebody's talking like they make sense. And in science, you have to be able to prove it. We know things change in science. So when you're telling me about the thing, the electrons being wrong, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think any scientist has a problem with anything being proven to be wrong. But the key word is proven, because anyone can say anything. It happens in science. Well, it doesn't happen in science all the time. But people say certain things, but they have to bring what they're saying to the table. I think people who don't know much about science, who've never done university stuff, right, at that level, think people just say things and just talk for an hour and they proved it. No, it takes years to prove stuff, to actually come up with formulas so that people who don't speak the same language as you and people from all walks of life can follow what you are saying. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's real stuff that happens behind the scenes. That's it. That's the difference between Kanye West, I think, and Terence.
I don't know what you just said.
All right, even Blackwell, I don't know what side Blackwell's on, to be fair, but he said something.
No, I think he also believes Terence is a cuckoo head.
No, but he said something about Nikola Tesla. People thought Nikola Tesla was a madman. So maybe he's saying that in defense of, people said this about Tesla, but he proved out to be, a genius or whatever. But people might have thought he was a madman in terms of what he could achieve. Put it back in. Why is it?
Is that how loud it is? Is that going to damage it is?
I don't think the thing's in properly. Sorry. Hold on, people. Sorry, 1 sec, people. Sorry, people.
That's what happens when it is that and no other children here to keep you company. You should give her what she was asking for before, innit? I'll keep it detained.
Go on there, go on. Don't make noise. Play it. Sorry about that, people.
Oh man.
Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah.
You said
Tesla.
Tesla madman.
He was considered, I guess, a madman in terms of what he dreamt of achieving. But the man was nowhere near a madman. The man was a genius. And he gave us real stuff that we use today. Do you get what I'm saying?
But I also believe that he had theories that didn't turn out to be anything. And I also believe that he used, and he even probably made up things that didn't exist language-wise in order to give a title to a theory that didn't exist before.
But I think a lot of people do that, though. When I say a lot of people, I mean the geniuses do. Sometimes you have
that's
to.
lovely. But this is how I'm seeing Terence. I'm not just seeing Terence as somebody who is like Mike, Suits, that guy who can just read
Remember
and
stuff.
he retain it. And he just, all right, cool, this application, right? I'm not seeing him like that at all. I'm seeing him understanding what it is that he's doing and then pushing the barrier further. Because what is read, yes, you can understand what has already been suggested is. But in his mind, but we need more. In order to achieve more, to go further. And remember, this is what he's doing is he wants civilization, humanity, to be able to free itself from the lashes of not just consumerism, but coal, oil. What do you call those things? Those resources.
Natural resources.
Yeah. But
fossil fuels and all that.
But he wants to save humanity. He's doing it for that particular cause, a good cause, right? And he's saying, I'm trying to basically have you just look at what I'm doing so that you can apply it so that we don't have to be having people poor and dying off the back of them not being able to access this thing that is free. One of his things is that we can basically generate energy, free energy from the ether, right? And he said after he'd finished, he's going to put up the white paper to let people be able to create this thing in order to extract free energy, right?
Good.
PBD asked him, so what's going to happen if it is that nobody listens to you and this, that, and the next? He said, we have to break away and make our own society. And you should love that kind of stuff because that's what you be preaching all the time. No, you're not, right? If whatever is in place is not benefiting a group of people, i.e. the poor, i.e. the disenfranchised, this and X. And there's a person saying, and I know this is the beginning of a cult, the person is saying, they've got the answer. They have to basically remove themselves from the thing that is not helping them.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I think it's easier for me to give him time because I don't think he's being disrespectful with these discoveries that he's trying to basically present to the world. He's not being disrespectful. All he's doing is screaming, saying, look, I think I have the answer.
Yeah.
Right? I have a solution for many of the things that could benefit the world. Right? And this is my main opus. Is it opus moderandi? Something like that, stupid.
Magnus.
Yeah.
Opus.
This thing here, I do believe, if incorporated into this, it would create this. Now, I do already believe that all this stuff has already been found out, discovered, and is in use by the military complex in this annex. I really believe that they have the answer to free energy. I really believe that they have 0-point energy. I really believe all of that. But the masses don't have access to it. Do you understand? So he's not even doing anything that I don't believe has already been done. Understand that. My brain's it's already been discovered.
Do you see what you're saying? Firstly, do you have another one of these? This is
yeah, there's one right there.
Where?
It's on the ledge.
Okay. Well, you said that he's not doing anything that's already been discovered. I think this is where the disconnect is. You might see it as a small thing, right? But when you say he's not doing anything that hasn't been, that's already
fossil fuels. That's it. That's the term I was looking for. Go on.
I said fossil fuels.
Oh, sorry.
When you say stuff like, oh, he's not doing anything that hasn't already been discovered, it suggests that what's been discovered and what's being used by these people. I don't know who.
Yes, it's hidden from the world.
That's hidden.
Yes,
is that they've done this, and Terence Formula has almost arrived at the same way of doing it. So imagine they're doing it, free energy. They've obviously built something to create this free energy, right? So they can extract them and whatnot. And it almost suggests that Terence Howard has written up what they have made real.
Yeah, but remember this free energy thing. Before they had it, it was discovered by other scientists prior, and they were all killed. And the patents removed from the.
So when you say discovered, what do you mean by discovered though?
They found a way to extract energy from the ether. Just as we're here, there's energy here, but how do you extract it?
So how do you know this?
Because I watch Wi-Files.
All right, cool.
This has been documented already, is what I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm not suggesting that he is doing something outside of what I've already seen or heard has been done before. But it's now a public platform that he went on Joe Rogan. Do you understand? He's on the PBD. I don't think he's gone on flagrant just yet, right? But
that'd be good.
yeah, it would be, because I do believe he would have Andrew Schultz ask him certain questions that yeah.
But Schultz might not want to really get into it, because look at what Schultz gave Billy Carson the space. You know what I mean?
They're two different people. Don't do that. Billy Carson's the scientist.
I know.
And he doesn't claim to be.
I know. Terence Howard is a scientist too?
He claims to 100%. He claims to not even be a
So
scientist.
you see Terence Howard as a scientist?
I see him as a free thinker.
So you don't see him as a scientist?
What do you qualify as a scientist? How do you define it?
Someone who has knowledge of science, man.
Yeah, then yes, he's a scientist.
All right.
I mean, if he needs to get the paper before he's called that, you fully well know people have gone through education, right? They've blagged whole sets of stuff and they've gotten the accreditation and come out and they don't know crap. So let's not go down this road.
But they would be fake scientists, though. You know what I mean? But
okay,
just somebody.
So I don't mind you calling him a fake scientist. I'm
not calling him a fake anything. I'm just saying.
But I do believe he sees himself as a scientist.
Yeah, I was asking if you see him as a scientist. I don't see him as a scientist.
That's fine. This is not important.
I know, but I want to see how you view him.
Yes, I do believe that he has created things, and if it is that
do you see him as a scientist? That's it. That's what I'm asking.
I asked you, what do you mean by a scientist? And you said by someone who knows about science.
Someone who has knowledge of science.
Yes, I believe he has knowledge of science
in the realm of science.
Yes, I believe that's what he does.
Okay, cool.
Because remember, I've seen the things that he's done.
Okay,
have you seen the linchpin drones?
No, I've not seen.
And he said he's waiting for DJI to basically holler him because he says that it will replace cranes. Yes, and that's a real world. Tangible benefit. Those cranes, they're ghastly, right?
Yeah.
They're effective, but he's saying there's a more effective way to do it.
No, Mr. Ashlows, big up Mr. Ashlows in the chat. He said, E-Man riding for Kemi and Trump and yay, but this Miss Terence is egregious. Mr. Layers, is this what you're doing live on air? Why can people not see the difference? I really don't, like when you can't see the difference, I understand the issues. Do you get what I'm saying? Because
I think the majority of people are on your side with this. You don't focus on just one individual.
No, because I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying that as a bad thing. You know, I'm just basically just throwing the response back at our good brother.
I've heard more people look to discredit Terence than actually give him time. Do you understand? So you're on the side of the majority at this point.
I would hope so.
I'm on the side of the minority. Feels powerful. And the thing is, I'm speaking because I've seen the exchange between them, and there is this subconscious switch that is activated when you hear PBD say, "Look, I've brought on somebody that is respected in this particular scientific world, right? And you don't know who it is, so I didn't give you any heads up before, and you're now meeting for the first time. I also sent him the papers that you have written, right? So he can check it before he comes on, right? This was a fantastic exchange that PBD facilitated. It's fast, and this is what I believe that you understand Team B is going to be about, right? Making these conversations possible where you're smiling. It's I'm the CEO say we'll definitely be about that. Don't worry, there'll be space for there to be discovery outside of the box of the norm.
I'm not saying
100%, because there are going to be supernatural things that are happening and nobody will have a response for it. The conventional way of approaching it will not be sufficient. Do you understand?
Yeah, and that's how we get progression.
This is what I keep saying. The only way you're going to achieve progress, well, one of the ways you can achieve progress is to test what is already said as the norm.
100%.
That's the only way, right?
100%.
So he's brought this guy on, and this guy didn't call him an idiot, right? And some people, after listening to Weinstein, they called him an idiot.
Called Terence an idiot.
Of course, right? That wasn't my takeaway from that.
I know.
That exchange wasn't my takeaway.
This is what was so surprising to me.
But I loved when, like I keep saying, he himself went and said something that would be seen as fringe. If the world got electrons all wrong. This is one of the fundamental basics of science as well, isn't it? How electrons work.
But the thing is, I think this is something that people get wrong as well. And I'm saying this humbly, right? People think the science world or the scientific world is against hearing stuff like this. I can't think of many things that.
Emmanuel,
What happened?
if it challenges the industry where you're having trillions through mining the fossil fuels and keeping people subjugated because of that, don't tell me that there's going to be a rush for the science world to adopt it. What are you talking
It's
about?
not about adoption. It's about the truth of science, isn't it? It's not about adoption. There's plenty of things out there that people know could be true, but if there's no economics behind it, it's just not going to be adopted because you need funds. But I'm just talking about something being provable as truth. When Einstein did what he did back in 1905, people didn't say, "Oh yeah, we're against this particular thing." No, it was seen as true, but only afterwards could we actually put this into. Let me not even say it was seen as true. It was seen as something that is the most plausible theory, because. But then only years later was we able to really make something of it. You know what I'm saying? And also this is another misconception as well. I think a lot of the time, sometimes you could be wrong about something and it could yield accurate results. Do you know what I'm saying? It happens all the time. So we could be wrong about electrons. I'm not saying that we're not wrong about it. But what I'm trying to say to you is I think a lot of people think the scientific world don't know this. This is why everything's called a theory. You know what I'm saying? Because there's room for growth.
I need you to not use scientific world as though it is a consensus amongst all the bodies that exist within its umbrella.
I hear what you're saying.
Because within that world, you have people debating and contesting and peer reviewing all the time.
Yeah.
There's the jostling. And even in that same exchange, he, as in the Chinese professor, also said a well-known formula is also wrong. And I have amended it. I don't know what the formula was, whether it was gravity. I don't know what it was, but it was a well-known formula. When it is you hear it, you're like, well, you're actually challenging that too?
Okay.
And he said, I've corrected it. But then I think PD said, have you shown your boys, your peers? He's like, no, you have to keep these type of things like...
For now, yeah. I hear it. I understand. But there's still... A scientist won't listen to him. I'm not talking about a scientist with an agenda.
Listen to who?
To the Chinese guy you're talking about, right? The one you corrected.
Okay, go on.
Is he the guy, yeah?
Yeah.
A scientist, yeah, outside of agenda and stuff, won't look at what he's saying, see the workings out and say this is wrong. Because you're loyal to the working out.
No, he can't. Don't say that he can't. They can see the workings out and they can say, I disagree. What are you talking about?
How do you disagree with...
Theory? Of course, you do it all the time.
No, this is what you're saying is because you're not... It's not theory. It's not just somebody saying something. Theory is backed by maths.
All right.
You have to know this backed by maths. So when someone's saying that if they disagree, it's because they're saying you've maybe got this particular part of your formula wrong. They're not saying. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes and no. I think
cool.
Yes, in a sense where if you're using the language that when you put it in a sequence, the outcome will be the result of following the trail. But theoretical science exists and people present formulas all the time and their peers say, nope, sorry, disagree. This is why I disagree. It happens all the time.
But what are they disagreeing with?
The theory.
No, but what in the theory? What this is basically what I'm getting at. What are they disagreeing with in the theory? Because when you're saying the theory, you're not just saying this is my hypothesis, and talking to them for 2 hours. You've got maths. The language of mathematics is proving this. So when somebody's saying I disagree, they're saying, you see what you said there? And you said that gravity can manipulate itself in this particular way, and the ether will do this, have this. How do you know this? Because that looks like an assumption to me. That doesn't look like something that is true. And based on this theory over here, that we know and we've used here, I think that would cause you an issue there. They're not just saying, oh, you think this and you've spoke to me for 2 hours, this is wrong. That's not real science.
I'm not sure if it is that we are going back and forth about anything important. You're not saying that there aren't people within the science field that disagree with each other's theories, are you?
No.
And that's the point I'm making. I believe that there are people within the science field that they can present the math, the formula, and they will have their peers say, I disagree with your theory. That's my point.
All right, cool.
Right? Whether you're talking about the math, them being able to identify how the math doesn't equal such and such, 100% it's math. So if they see something weird, say, how did you get that from that then? And yeah, I understand that Jocelyn too, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just the basis of him having a theory and his peers will disagree with it. Until it's proven.
Proven how?
Well, however, these particular theoretical scientists normally prove things, whatever method or metric they use, I'm talking about that, right? But Mama, I'm not even talking about all of that. I only mention a theoretical science only because they're saying this doesn't happen. Let's jump outside of that. In building something, you prove a theory that you have. You said earlier you can reach the right answer using the wrong method. Paraphrasing. Did you say that?
I was saying you could be wrong about a particular thing and still it would yield accurate results.
So, is it the same thing?
Is what the same thing?
What I just said.
Um,
You could reach the right result, but using the wrong method.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, cool. So this outcome is good, but how you got there is wrong.
Yeah.
Explain how that makes sense to me. If you can repeat it, if it's repeatable, because that's what I believe this peer review is. Can it be repeated? And it being repeated, that pathway needs to be recorded as this works.
Yeah, but like most things in life, you have a degree of error that's allowed sometimes. That's just what happens. So
I'm trying to simplify this. If the outcome is achieved,
yeah,
whatever you do in between, if each time you repeat it, you get the outcome, it becomes real. No?
It becomes
you record it as
it becomes the best theory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But the theory that provides the outcome, presents the outcome.
Of course.
All right. And when you say theory,
but what I'm trying to say,
when you say theory,
yeah,
what does that mean if you can see it working?
A theory is a fact, though, isn't it? So it's provable.
A theory is not a fact.
No, it is. It is. In science, it is. Because like you said, you can repeat it. It stands to be true. That you have the word in science is different to the word in regular life.
Oh wait, so that's why I said I challenged you there. But give me a second. Let me just type this in because I might have a different understanding of theory.
Cool. So you can repeat certain things. I'll give an example afterwards.
All right. A theory, a supposition or a system of ideas intended to explain something, especially one based on general principles independent of the thing to be explained. A set of principles on which the practice of an activity is based. An idea used to account for a situation or justify a course of action.
Where are you looking at this?
I'm trying to find a definition.
Yeah, but where? On Google?
Yeah.
So maybe type in theory in science or something. What is theory in science?
And would this be the same as like the Big Bang Theory?
Exactly.
But that's not a fact.
But it is. What are you talking about? Of course it is. It is. It can be improved upon. But the science points to it being true. That 13.7 billion years ago, something occurred. And prior to that point, we don't know what happened.
Sorry, let me change what I said.
Cool.
The theory of evolution that we came from the Big Bang is what I'm talking about. And then from the Big Bang, there is...
What do you mean the theory of evolution from the Big Bang? What does that mean?
So, you know, I don't know what it's called, but the idea that man came from monkeys, and then before monkeys, it was like
It didn't come from monkeys, but okay, I get what you said.
Tadpole, and before
Yeah.
tadpole, it was algae. Before algae, it was nothingness. And before nothingness, it was the bang. Right?
Yeah, single-celled molecules, single-celled organisms, and then you get molecules and all that sort of stuff.
What theory is that called?
Because
Because I used to call it a Big Bang Theory, but I'm guessing you're saying it's not. What's it called?
It's different, but Big Bang Theory just speaks to the beginning of the universe, isn't it? Starting 13.7 billion years ago.
Are you going to ask my question?
I
I'm
think
looking for the
answering
answer.
question. I think I'm
What
answering
is the term used for that thing that I just talked about?
evolution?
So
Is that what we're talking about?
it's supposed to be a theory.
That we came from.
I might be
from
making this
single
up.
From
I
single-cell
might be
organisms.
making this up. I thought it was a theory. It was said as a theory.
Yes.
What is the term that's
You're
used?
talking about us coming from single cell organisms, right? It's evolution, yeah.
Is it evolution theory?
All of these things are theories.
Never mind.
but they
Never mind. I'm probably saying stuff to confuse you.
No, what I'm trying to say to you is, in science, a theory doesn't sound like a theory, like guess, like a guess. A theory is backed up by maths. Do you get what I'm saying? So it sounds like it's just a theory, or it could be wrong. No, that's people who don't know about science. Theories are backed by maths. You can repeat them over and over again. But the science world leaves room for improvement on all of these things. This is what I was trying to say to you. Even if someone says electrons are how we've been seeing electrons are wrong, that's okay, as long as you can prove it. It just has to be better than the previous idea that we've got, more accurate.
I thought, and obviously you're educating me now, which is good. So one, in real world, theory doesn't mean fact, but in the science world, it means fact.
Yeah, it's something that's real that you can repeat over and over again. It's the best explanation for what we have.
I thought, and again, I'm learning here.
Yeah.
In the science world, you can present theories, and only when it can be repeated does it become or is recorded as a fact. That's truth.
But this is why I said to you that a theory is also a fact.
No.
I'm explaining what you're saying.
Let me
I
finish what I'm saying.
Okay, go on.
Because when you don't let me finish, you're attributing things that I'm not saying. Right?
No, I was saying something. But you go on.
I'll start again.
Go on.
What you've educated me on today, and I thank you very much. In the real world, theory does not mean fact.
Yeah.
Right? Just an idea. Right?
Exactly.
Lovely.
Yes. Hypothesis.
Lovely.
Yes.
In the science world,
Yeah.
a theory means fact.
Yeah.
Lovely. I thought
Yeah.
in the science world,
Yeah.
a theory is an idea
Yeah.
until it's repeated,
Okay.
and then it becomes a fact, right? It no longer is a theory, it's a fact. Now, I'm hearing you saying that's wrong, and I take that, cool. So when they say I am a theoretical scientist, does that mean everything that they study, they do, their work is all based in fact?
So this is what I was trying to get to. So this is why I said to you, a scientific theory is a theory and a fact. I know it sounds weird, but this is why I was trying to say that, because you can still say something's a theory and still it be an idea that you're building upon. Yo, Brent, I've got this theory about da-da-da-da-da. This is what I'm saying. I'm not there yet, but this is what I'm building upon. But you would still use the same terminology for something that's established. And established, something that's taken on by the entire scientific world, right? It's still called a theory, but it's a fact. But it's still called a theory because I guess maybe you can still build upon it. You can improve on these things. Everything's been improved on. Everything that we have today, people have had these ideas, or some ideas that were linked to it, maybe 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago. But we improve on those particular things. You don't throw them in the bin and discard them. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a theory and a fact because we can actually repeat these things. Like you said earlier. I'll give you an example.
Wait. So you're not saying that a theory is a fact. You're saying it's a theory and it's a fact. So you're not saying it's a fact. You're saying it's still an idea, but idea that has been proven and repeated.
And therefore it's a fact.
No.
I'm saying it is. Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
That's how it's seen in all the time.
So remove fact from it then.
Why?
Just call it theory because it's understood as fact.
Because it's a fact. Because we can repeat this stuff. There's evidence.
No, there's a gap here, and I'm not being obtuse.
No, I'm
on
listening.
purpose.
Yeah, go.
There's a gap here with your communication with me.
Talk to me.
Because in you detailing what you're saying a theory is, there's still a process of repeating it, right? And then it being proven, and then the pairs saying, let's record it as fact. Right? That process, absent that process, it remains a theory, absent it being a fact because it hasn't been repeated and proven.
You're using English words, though, isn't it? Like you're using colloquial understanding of stuff. I'm saying to you that the reason why I see it as a theory and a fact is because colloquially we may just say these are ideas. This is the theory I have that I started with Brent 15 years ago, right? This is the theory that we have here, right? You put it out there for scrutiny. But when the scrutiny doesn't live up to the allegation of the bloody scrutiny, right? and it doesn't break down. It's seen as a fact. It's still the theory of Brent, but it's seen as this is the best reason, the best explanation for what we have, because we've tried it under various conditions. We've tried it in this scenario, in that scenario. It's the best thing. But there are people that can come and say, yo, and this is what happens. People say, oh yeah, this is wrong. I've corrected it. What they really, I don't want to put words in the Chinese man's mouth in it because I've not seen the video. But essentially what happens a lot of the time is they say they've tweaked this particular thing that maybe increases the degree of accuracy, or where this particular thing wasn't perfect in that particular realm, I've seen a way to encompass it so it works there too. Do you get what I'm saying? So people have ideas about Einstein's theory of relativity and all that sort of stuff. But there's other people that say, this is a bit better. Oh, quantum mechanics and all the ideas we have about this that makes this a bit more accurate. Einstein's not wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? But you can improve on certain things. You can build upon certain things. That's all it is.
Einstein wasn't wrong?
Yeah, I don't think
Was the theory of relativity proven?
Yeah, of course.
And repeated?
Yeah.
What is the theory of relativity? What happens at the end of it? What's the outcome?
What is it?
Sorry, I don't want you to stress yourself.
After really
this theory of relativity, is it in play in science?
In regular life?
Yes. And it's repeatable in this, that, and next. Yes. Yeah. All right. Cool. So
all right. You know, before we had this idea that the Earth goes around the sun, right?
Let's use flat Earth because
cool.
The world was seen to be flat, and that was a theory, that was a fact, right? Based on what you're now telling me, I have to update my lingo,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
In the scientific world, it was seen as a fact because it was a theory, right?
Not because it was a theory, but because whatever they were able to.
And what was it that they were able to basically repeat but to then see the proof of?
This is what I'm about to say to you. So personally, I don't know what they did. So I don't know if that was ever considered a fact. People believe the world is flat because of religion. That's why people believed it. I don't know of any scientists that believe the world's flat. I personally don't know. Someone can correct me. But religion made people believe the world is flat. Christianity, Islam, all these things. That's what that did. When Galileo said, guys, I don't think this book is telling us what we think it's telling us, he was put under house arrest. You know what I'm saying? When people built on these particular ideas, things changed. The scientific world was different.
So I'm going to put a pin in this because I don't know if it is that I'm going to agree with you until I do more peer research. I'm gonna check your peers on this. I've never understood a theory to be a fact until it's repeated and then observed and then recorded to do the same thing over and over again. So
say that last thing again.
I've always thought that a theory is a theory until it's proven.
Okay, and then it becomes a fact and no longer a theory.
After it's repeated and observed to be repeated, the same outcome, then it becomes a fact. That's what I've always basically understood theory to be. Whether it's in the normal world or the world in which it is that you obviously parlay in. You understand?
No, but have you thought that in the scientific world or just assumed that in the scientific world?
I assume that, but remember, I've also heard language like theoretical science. Theoretical physics, theoretical math.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a wrestling of ideas until it can be proven.
But the ideas are all, the wrestling of ideas is based on maths though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so it's based on those things, isn't it? And sometimes you've got somebody that says this is better than yours. And maybe and there's a duel. So there's not something that's established. Do you get what I'm saying? But some things are established and it's just the best.
Look, young man,
that's all it is.
Anytime I feel as though you're taking me around the bush, I'm not going to basically concede until it is I get a second opinion.
Oh,
right?
no, that's fine.
I have to, because I could be completely wrong about my understanding of theory in this world because I don't live in that world. I don't live in that particular world. I'm gonna call David afterwards. You know the boy who speaks in.
Yes, big up David, man. Yeah, he's in the science world, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask him about what theory means in his world and whatnot, just to ask another expert, obviously. But anyway,
I mean, what I'm saying is correct, but
I don't mind it being correct. I just want to just ask another person in that world. Okay. Do you understand? Another one of your peers. That's all I'm saying.
Fighter Spirit Media, he said Galileo the Catholic. What does that mean? What does that mean?
He's not Christian, is what he's saying.
Oh, come on, man. Without Catholicism, anyway. Without Catholicism, Christianity wouldn't be what it is today. So you can't just say, "Oh, yeah, he's a Catholic." That doesn't mean, that's not nice. He was a Catholic, but he was a scientist. The guy who gave us the idea of the Big Bang, in fact, he was a Catholic. He was a father. Do you know what I'm saying? But he had a scientific mind, so he's able to navigate both. A lot of us aren't.
You have probably a profile of how it is I perceive African spirituality, isn't it?
Maybe, but I might be wrong.
And you think it's incorrect, right? And you also take your time sometimes to basically correct my wrong thinking, right? And it's on me to basically adjust my profile of this thing.
Not necessarily.
There are pancakes in the bag.
Yeah, can you see it? Take it out.
All right, then. You gonna share? You could have all of it. Don't worry. I don't want anything. I'm allergic to pancakes. That's all right. It's cool. I know you wouldn't offer it to me, but thank you very much. But that pancake isn't melanated enough, just so you're aware. Yeah. So when Joshua, Free Spirit, tells you that your understanding of a Christian is outdated, it's incorrect. Why don't you accept that he's speaking from a place of knowledge?
Outdated? Why is it outdated?
Because you just said Christianity came out of Catholicism. Like
Catholicism.
True Christianity came out of Catholicism. It wouldn't be what it is today if not for Catholicism. Yes?
Yeah, but because that's true.
Yeah, and he's telling you, look, stop saying...
He didn't say no.
Stop attributing Christianity in its truest form to stuff that is not reflective of Christianity. It's these people deciding to read what they want to read and interpret it they want to interpret and practice things that they weren't supposed to practice in.
No, but what I'm saying is Joshua wouldn't say that though. Like if he knows the history, then he would know what I said is not a bad thing.
I've said a different thing just now. I've just told you my understanding of African spirituality. You've corrected me many times, right? And I then have to adjust my my profile on African spirituality. If somebody's practicing in a particular way and the world now thinks that's the way and it's the wrong way because of how this particular person is practicing and amplifying it in that wrong manner, does it mean that that's the thing? That's the real crux of the religion, of the faith, of the belief. No, it's just wrongly used. The tool is being used in the wrong way, right? And it's being presented in the wrong way. That's what I'm talking about, Catholicism and Christianity. That's what I think he's saying, is what I'm saying.
No, he actually explained this to him. He said, no, that's not what I'm saying. He said, you said it was due to religion. So he was talking about what I said.
Yeah.
You said it was due to religion that we believed A, but you're just using it as an opportunity to throw religion under the bus as a stray. I definitely didn't mean that. No, I'm not throwing religion under the bus. I am saying though.
We have a Discord for a reason, people.
Yeah.
We have Discord for a reason.
All I was basically saying
it's
is
just myself and Emmanuel here today, so.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to throw religion under the bus.
All
right, let me go.
Do you have it in your bag?
No, it's in the car.
I don't think I have it in the house. We don't
1 second.
encourage diabetes and that. By the way, people, Grace has asked for the fantastic condiment. Oh, people don't know the name? I thought she said it. Who said it yesterday? All right then. Fancy. You weren't trying to kick your daddy's bum bum. Is that what you do at home, yeah? All right. Interested. Interested. But playtime. Let me just change that one time, in fact. Sorry, people. Whilst it is that the camera is on black, is because I cannot guarantee that the lovely lady isn't going to run into Emmanuel's seat. And see, there, she's done it. You see, you will have seen it just now. So it will be black until it is. Yeah, it'll be black until it is that Emmanuel comes back. He's just gone to the car to get some syrup for his lovely daughter's pancakes. Do you put plenty syrup on it? Like plenty. Sometimes do you just miss the pancake and just put it in your mouth like... No. All right. Sometimes you shouldn't even look to entertain that. That's too much syrup. Too much sugar.
Let me do it.
All right. Lovely. The choice is golden syrup, by the way, not honey.
Honey.
Yes, not even maple syrup.
Yeah, I need to get some.
Yes, you do. Yes, you definitely do.
Don't let me do it.
Hold on.
That's the better option, and I think she would enjoy it more as well.
Let me do it. Dad, let me do it.
You know, as soon as you left, you ran right into your seat.
You serious?
But the camera's off. So.
Daddy, what you
Hurry up.
make me do?
Sorry, people. Sorry.
Accountability.
Silly.
Lack of it. Look at that. It runs in the family. Imagine she blamed you for that. Crazy.
All right, people. Apologies for that. Sorry, man. Yes. What were we saying?
We put a pin on that. I said I'll go and ask your peers, and I'll come back on Wacky Wednesday.
Yes.
So let's get into the headlines.
Let's do it.
Do you want to read through all of them and then go to
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Let's
All
do it.
right.
Yummy.
Shh.
It's a fire. Go.
All right, people. So our first set of headlines. So Sakir Starmer has pledged to only sign a trade deal with the US that is in the UK's national interest, as he warned about the impact of President Trump's tariffs. The Prime Minister said that the import taxes announced by the US President last week, which have prompted economic turbulence across the world, would pose a huge challenge for our future. The UK is hoping to sign an agreement to limit the impact on the UK, which has been hit with a 10% baseline import duty with a 25% tariff on British cars. The UK is considering changes to taxes on big tech firms as part of a deal. But speaking during a visit to a Jaguar Land Rover factory in Solihull, Sakir Starmer sought to reassure the public that there would not be a trade deal at any price. So he said, I will only strike a deal if it's in the national interest. That's my priority: strength abroad, security, and renewal at home. Next headline, an MP denied entry and deported from Israel had accused the state of control and censorship. Labour MP Abtissam Mohammed told the House of Commons this act was not just a diplomatic affront. This wasn't about security. It was about control and censorship and the exposure of Israel. No state, however powerful, should be beyond criticism. Ms. Mohammed and fellow Labour MP Huang Yang were denied entry to Israel when they arrived on Saturday as part of a parliamentary delegation to visit humanitarian aid projects in the West Bank. The two women were then deported, sparking a political row in which the Israelis have accused them of being there to provoke anti-Israel activities following comments that they have made in Parliament. Ms. Mohammed said it had been a challenging few days and that the two MPs are not the only ones who have been speaking about the atrocities and calling for change. She said many Israelis and Israeli charities were also doing so. Just excuses by the Israelis. Trigger warning on this one, people. Big trigger warning. MP Dan Norris has been arrested on suspicion of rape, child sex offences, child abduction and misconduct in a public office. The Labour Party say it immediately suspended the MP for North East Somerset and Hanham after being made aware of his arrest. Avon and Somerset police confirmed that a man in his 60s was arrested on Friday and released on conditional bail. Norris, who was 65, was elected as the MP for North East Somerset and Hanham in 2024, defeating the Tory MP Jacob Rees-Mogg. In a statement, Avon and Somerset police said in December 2024, we received a referral from another police force relating to alleged non-recent child sex offences having been committed against a girl. Most of the offences were alleged to have occurred in the 2000s, but we're also investigating an alleged offence of rape from the 2020s. An investigation led by officers within Operation Bluestone, our dedicated rape and serious sexual assault investigation team, remains ongoing and at an early stage. Hey, that's enough. That's enough. Sorry, people. Next headline. And Donald Trump has said that the US is having direct talks. Hey. Donald Trump has said that the US is having direct talks with Iran over its nuclear program, stating Iran will be in great danger if the negotiations fail. The president has insisted Tehran cannot get nuclear weapons. Iran had pushed back against Trump's demand that it enter negotiations over its nuclear program or be bombed. But speaking at the White House on Monday, Mr. Trump said, we're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. I'll go on Saturday, he continued. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. And I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable. When pressed for more details on the talks, the US president said that they're taking place at almost the highest level. He would not be drawn on where the meeting this weekend is taking place. Hopefully those talks will be successful. It will be in Iran's best interest if they are successful. This is what Trump's saying. He also then said, we hope that's going to happen. Mr. Trump made the comments to reporters during an Oval Office meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Next headline, and the PRCS, the Palestine Red Crescent Society, has called for an The PRCS, the Palestine Red Crescent Society, has called for an independent international inquiry into Israel's killing of 15 emergency workers in southern Gaza. The organization released a full video found on the phone of one of its 8 paramedics who died when troops fired at a convoy of ambulances on the 23rd of March, which it said constituted a fully fledged war crime. It called on those responsible to be held to account. Israel's military said on Monday that a preliminary inquiry indicated troops opened fire during a perceived threat following a previous encounter in the area, and that 6 of the individuals killed in the incident were identified as Hamas terrorists without giving evidence. A Red Crescent paramedic who survived then denied his colleagues were linked with any armed groups. The Israeli military initially said that its troops fired on suspicious vehicles driving with their lights off. On Saturday, it admitted that initial versions of events were mistaken after the last part of the paramedics' video was released showing the convoy was using its emergency lights. The bodies of the 8 Red Crescent paramedics, 6 civil defense first responders, and 1 UN staff member were recovered from a shallow grave a week after their deaths once the UN was able to obtain safe passage to the area. Next headline, and the EU has said it has offered the US a 0 for 0 tariff deal on cars and industrial goods weeks before Donald Trump launched his trade war, but that it would not wait endlessly to defend itself. So Marios Stefkovic, who is the EU Commissioner for Trade, said that he had proposed 0 tariffs on cars and a range of industrial goods, such as pharmaceutical products, rubber and machinery, during his first meeting with the US Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, and he did that on the 19th of February. He said that the EU remained open for talks, while suggesting nothing would be concluded soon. He said, right now we're in the early stages of discussions because the US view tariffs not as a tactical step, but as a corrective measure. However, at a press conference on Monday evening, Trump did not appear keen on the offer. He told reporters that 0 tariffs were not going to happen, adding, the European Union is very bad to us. They're going to have to buy their energy from us because they need it, and they're going to have to buy it from us. They can buy it. We can knock off $350 billion in 1 week. Close it. Next headline, and a baby girl has become the first child in the UK to be born from a womb transplant. So Grace Davidson, who received the transplant in 2023, said that the birth of her daughter, Amy Isabel, was the greatest gift we could ever have asked for. The 36-year-old from North London received a donated womb from her older sister, Amy. It was the first time that the procedure had taken place in the UK, and the birth will give hope to thousands of women born without a womb. Amy Isabel was named after her aunt and the surgeon who helped perfect the technique, and was born by planned cesarean section on the 27th of February at Queen Charlotte's and Chelsea Hospital in London. Miss Davidson, who's an NHS dietitian, said that she felt shock when she first held her daughter, adding, we have been given the greatest gift we could ever have asked for. Trigger warning on this next one, people. On the next 2 people. 2 teenage boys have been charged with murder over the death of a 17-year-old boy in West London. Kieran Charles was pronounced dead at the scene on Erkenwood Road in East Acton at about 1:10 in the afternoon on Saturday. 2 16-year-old boys who cannot be named for legal reasons were remanded into custody and are due to appear at Highbury Corner Youth Court on Monday. Kieran's family continue to receive support from specially trained officers. That's what the Met Police have said. And our last headline, again, trigger warning, people. Heavy rains have Heavy rains have triggered severe flooding from a key river in the DRC capital, Kinshasa, killing some 30 people and destroying homes and roads. Provincial Health Minister Patricia Ngongo provided the death toll on Sunday, but stressed it was provisional. Most of the fatalities in the deluge, he added, were caused by collapsing walls. The Injili River, which cuts through the teeming city of nearly 17 million people, burst its banks on Friday night, submerging the main national road, and motorists were left stranded for hours, with some spending the entire night in their cars. There was a Kinshasa resident who was speaking to Reuters news agency, and he basically said, on the way home from the airport last night, they welcomed to welcome a friend. We spent the night in the car because there was no safe place to park. Many neighborhoods were plunged into darkness while others suffered from water shortages. And that's it for our headlines. Time to pay the bills and time to get into the topic of the day. Move back.
All right, make sure don't put your fingers in your mouth afterwards, because that's how it is that you pop down. Question. So I've been sent this, right? And let me know if it is that you agree. Let me know if you need me to repeat anything, mind you. In the science world, a theory is not the same as a fact, but it is deeply rooted in facts and considered one of the highest forms of scientific understanding. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, I'll repeat it. In a science world, a theory is not the same as a fact, but it is deeply rooted in facts, the mathematics you were talking about, right? And considered one of the highest forms of scientific understanding. So you agree with that, yes? Cool. Then it says, here's how scientists distinguish between them.
Okay.
Fact is a confirmed observation.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Is a confirmed observation. For example, objects fall to the ground when dropped.
Yeah.
And theory, an explanation of why or how those facts occur. For example, the theory of gravity explains why objects fall.
Yeah.
Yes? So an explanation as to what has been observed to be true.
Yeah.
In science, theories are not guesses.
Exactly.
And that's how it is you were telling me. In the real world, it's different to the scientific world, yes?
Yeah.
They are comprehensive explanations supported by a wide body of evidence. Yes? They are testable, falsifiable, and revised if new evidence emerges. Yes? So while a theory is not a fact, it is built on facts and often explains them. In that sense, science theories are as close to truth as science allows without being unchangeable dogma.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, basically.
All right. So do you believe everything you've communicated to me is exactly what I've just read?
I mean, the only
There's
difference...
no miscommunication at all.
I don't think so.
No modeling.
No, I can understand why there might be. The only difference is where at the beginning it says science is not a fact, but it's built upon facts. The reason why I guess I would say scientific theory is a fact also is because of everything else he said in that, which is that it's observable. It's in the real world, in the outside world, you would see it as a fact. Because everything is observable. Everything we're saying can be repeated. Everything. So you would see it as a fact in the normal world. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I guess is the miscommunication. But everything you said there, I agree with.
Did you hear me say anything that I just read to you during our exchange?
What do you mean? I heard everything.
No. She had post.
No.
Yeah, she did. Or was I'm out.
Anyway, go on, bro.
She's giggling. But it rises, right?
Thank you, Brent. Come on, man.
When I went back and forth about repeatable, observable, and then it's then recorded as fact.
Yeah.
And when I asked you specifically, is a theory a fact the same thing? And you said yes.
Yeah.
Right? Now, why sometimes I call you intellectually dishonest, right? It's hard for me to go through the process, like I honestly was doing, sincerely trying to gauge if it is I am the absolute bonehead in this particular back and forth, or if it is that you are playing fast and loose with terms, right? Now, I just read this to you, and the first thing it said was something I specifically asked you about. Is theory a fact? And you said yes, right?
Yeah.
Now, even in my explanation as to what I thought this particular theory was in the science world, I'm reading it right here.
What you thought it was?
Yes. Repeatable?
So wait a minute. Do you think in your explanation of what a theory is, you was more in line with that than I was?
Yeah.
Than I was?
Than you were. You remember you were...
No, I'm just asking.
I was disputing you saying a theory is a fact.
What I'm asking is, so in what you read there, do you think what you were saying is more in line with that than what I was saying?
Yes, that's why I'm reading it to you is like, did you see anything that you did with me in my exchange as wrong? But you just said, no, I can't, and this is why. But never mind, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I like this, because this now, I don't have to ask another person. This person who's just sent this to me, I don't now have to ask another person, because this is in line with what I've been flipping saying. But never mind. We're on the same page now, yes?
I mean, if you think what you're saying is the same as that, I don't think it was, but all right, cool. It doesn't matter. It's not that big a deal.
I don't think it is at this point, because I've now reached a level of, fair enough.
Fine.
All right. Let's go into topic of the day. It's going to be a good one.
All right, people. Welcome to topic of the day. And there's a few clips, so Brent, if you don't mind, can we load up some of these clips? Because we don't have much time. But this is about Trap Law Ross. So basically, I think some weeks back, right, Brent sent me a clip of this guy, a video with some people.
Anthony, mind you. Shout out Anthony, Urban TV. I think he's changed his name now, to be honest.
Okay.
He did a little compilation of this. He had seen a video essay, and he had a particular gripe with this young white man in there. So we had a little exchange back and forth, and he has made this particular video. I sent you that video, and this is how the topic of the day was born.
Oh, so the video I saw was Anthony's work?
Yes.
You sure?
The one I sent you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It was on somebody else's page, you know?
What page was it?
It was somebody's YouTube channel.
No, he has a YouTube channel. What YouTube channel?
Some American guy. Yeah.
The video I sent you?
Yeah.
Was it a video essay?
It was I don't think so. It was a YouTube. I don't know. Maybe it was. But it wasn't from a UK. It was from a guy called Little something, I think. Little B, or I can't remember.
That's weird. I thought I just forwarded you Anthony's stuff.
No, I don't think so. It was a YouTube.
How long was it?
Maybe, I can't remember. I'll be estimating. About
15, did you watch it?
15 minutes, yeah.
50 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But yes, either way, it's basically about Trap Law Ross, yeah. I didn't know about this guy before.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know about this guy.
All right, fair.
And basically, for those who don't know him, he's basically, I believe, anyway, he calls himself a hip-hop journalist. I'll be right in saying that, right?
Yes.
Cool. So he calls himself a hip-hop journalist. He basically documents hip-hop culture in the various forms that it manifests itself. So i.e. the music side of it, he speaks about the music, but he also speaks about, I guess, the life behind the music, right? So if you hear a certain man from, I don't know, Chicago or West London or East London or whatever, talking about certain things in the music, he kind of tends to go into the fact or fiction that informs the music. And that's basically what he does. So in this particular clip that Brent sent me, yeah, it seems as though, and I'm assuming here, correct me if I'm wrong, Brent, because I don't think I've seen the video you said that you sent me from Anthony. They basically have a problem with Trap Law Ross, isn't it? In that he's more so exploiting hip-hop culture, isn't it?
This is his channel.
Do that?
The B-side.
Do that.
This is the channel. This is Anthony made this.
And you sent that to me?
Yeah, this is the one.
Let me show you what
I quit watching Trap Law Ross vids when Lil Bill exposed this shocking truth.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. I thought it was Lil Bill's channel. So is that
the B-side? No, this is Anthony.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I only wanted to give him props for the thing, so that's why I fixated on it.
Okay, so long story short, the question is this. Yeah, unfortunately we don't have a lot of time. If it's something that interests you guys, we can continue it tomorrow. But essentially, is somebody like Trap Lord Ross documenting the culture, or are they profiting off the pain? Are they exploiting the pain, right? Because I don't know, maybe black people have giving people license to talk about it because they're making music about it. Is he doing anything wrong? Is he making beefs worse? Is he exacerbating the sins of our culture that we speak about in the music? Or is he actually just being a neutral position and he's just being a journalist? And if it was a black person, we wouldn't have an issue with it.
What do you think?
I think I do think he's exploiting it, but I don't think he's the problem. If that, or he's the only problem, I should say. He didn't start this. You know what I'm saying? The cogs have been moving for decades. He's just doing what his people started, and he's jumped in. And black people, we like to give people who don't look like us special attention, and act as though they do it better than us. You know what I mean? Hence Vlad TV, hence No Jumper, hence all these guys.
Yes.
Who black people have been doing the same sort of thing, but for some reason their content is better. I don't know why.
Yes.
But yeah.
Would you prefer? Because do you feel a way that he's able to monetize off of this? Hey man, he is extracting information from Reddit. He's reading in between the lines sometimes and presenting it like that. He's extracting videos from mainstream publication to, like what's in the news and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then he compiles it together and he puts his little voiceover over it. Do you have an issue with him monetizing off this thing that's quote unquote already out there? He's put into a central location where people can come and find it.
No, because he can't monetize it unless we buy it. We've chosen to buy it.
Let's say that the majority of people who are subscribers and viewers of the channel, it's not black people. So he still gets money.
Then I'll have an issue because I think it then speaks to it gives a bit more information about the intention. And also, even if the intention not fully bad on his part, it still highlights, I think, the overall agenda of those who control hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And the direction they've pushed it. That somebody can come in, observe us, talk about us, and then their people they're just looking at the circus, basically. You know what I mean? Looking at, lack of a better term, in fact, let me not say that, but just looking at the circus. You know what I mean?
You said go look at the monkeys.
I never said that.
That's where you were going.
I never said that.
All right then.
But,
that's my theory, by the way. It's not a fact. It's not a fact. That's not what you actually did. Go on.
But yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, that he's just adding to that particular issue.
Okay, on that point, would you prefer if it was a black person monetizing off of it instead?
In the exact same way?
100%. Because as you said just now, if the majority of the audience is white, you'd have an issue because it would just be like DJ Vlad and what they've been doing for the longest while. If it were a black person and the majority of the audience was white, go.
Then I think we would need to look at why that's the case. And I think if, for example, it was me, I came in just being a hip hop journalist, and I turned around, I looked at all of my stuff after 4 or 5 years of doing this, and I thought, wait a minute, 95% of my audience is white? I think I'll start to question, am I doing something correct there? Do you get what I'm saying?
Intriguing. I love this because what is being detailed is criminal activity.
Yeah.
Why are you having, is it ethical dilemmas? Yeah, ethical dilemmas off the back of a black person highlighting the criminality within our community?
Because I understand that sometimes certain things are done in ignorance, and people, like I said, you're just part of the overall system, and some people don't understand their role in it. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, expound on that.
Okay,
Give more color to that.
So to me, I believe that the reason why there's so much attention, so this is something else I wanted to even explore. Do you feel, let me go back a stage. I feel as though hip hop is in the direction it goes in and has been going in this particular direction because there's powers that be that fund particular ideas. If you want to say those particular, the agenda is because they want to exploit the black community, the so-called negative things in the black community, they want to exploit it just for exploitation's sake and to make money off it, then fine. Or if you believe it's just a business thing and they believe that human beings are into voyeurism, we just like looking at things like this. I.e., if this was a Bruce Willis film, if this was a Scarface movie, we would be interested in the same way because of the gore, the blood, and all that sort of stuff. And it's not a race thing. Then those are the only two options for me. I don't think it's just a voyeurism thing. I think there's benefit from having a dynamic where we continue to do what we do in our communities. Because if we didn't, you have to ask yourself, what will be the alternative? Rarely in life is there such a seismic change and something doesn't fill that void. There isn't just something you take away and then there's a void. There's a taking away of this and it will be filled with something else. And there's something else that I believe is what was there around the inception of hip hop, more consciousness in the music. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think if that was there, permeating our society and all of us hearing it, I think it would wake a lot of our people up. And that will cause a big change. So it benefits the power structure to remain the way it's remaining. Making sense?
You answered my question, innit?
Yes.
As in, why is that you have an issue with the white man having a large white audience reporting on criminality within the black community, but not an issue with the black man having a large white audience?
No, I have an issue with him as well, I was saying if it was me, for example, I would start to question myself, like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Why am I the one that's doing this? Am I the guy who is promoting the circus? Am I the guy who's buying and selling tickets to the circus?
Now, stay there.
Yeah.
So apply that same thing to...
Wait a minute.
Hold up.
Sorry, guys. One second.
It's black. It's only you can't see anything.
Come quickly, come.
Good morning, Badu. What are your thoughts? What are your
good morning,
thoughts?
everyone. I hope you guys are having a good morning.
We are having a great morning. Thank you very much. Even better now that you're on the line. We were looking for a Gen Z the other day. How come you didn't chime in?
I was asleep.
Are you a Gen Z?
Yeah, I'm 20.
All right. Okay. Cool. Sorry for disrupting your sleep, but cool. You're here now. What do you think about this topic?
I think Trap Lord Ross, he's like a better version of like DJ Academic and what's his name, Adam 22 and Brent. Because like really and truly, he's just documenting the stuff, innit? Like this is stuff that we already know about. He's just making documentaries and doing extra research and letting us know. But like, it's a bit weird to me because like he's kind of glorified at the end of the day, and I'm saying it's kind of like a zoo. Like he's like watching a safari thing. Like black men killing each other, and then he's reporting it to the masses and getting views of that. And but the people he's reporting on are either dead in jail or they're still in the trenches. You know what I'm saying?
So your phone keeps breaking up. It sounds as though you're still in bed. Is it kind of muffling the sheets or the pillow because it's not clear?
Can you hear me better now?
I think so. Keep talking.
Yeah. So I was saying that I feel like it's more like a zoo thing. It's more like a zoo thing. Flipping, what's his name?
And you said that he is better than Adam, whatever his name is, and DJ Academics, right? When you say better, as in more effective at doing the thing that is negatively impacting the black community?
No, I just think he's doing it in a more like, what's the word?
Journalistic manner?
Yeah, he's doing it in a more journalistic way because like DJ Academics back in the day, bro, he was like glorifying the shit. Like he was reporting on murders and like people, the opposition gang members used to feel like, "Raw, we got to retaliate now that everyone knows that we took it out." Like, you get what I mean? But like Trap Lord Ross, he's more like reporting on stories that are done. Like basically King Von, for example. King Von's been dead for 5 years. Like nothing's gonna happen again anyway. You get what I mean? But like I've seen other interviews on like not on his channel, but like when he went onto other people's platforms and stuff like that, and he's kind of glorifying it, man. And I can't back him on that. Like I seen that he got a King Von tattoo on his leg with 7 skulls around him, man.
All right, so now you're saying that he is doing something wrong when he's glorifying it, right? Because he has a tattoo of King Von on his whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So you think what he's doing is wrong?
I think his journalism is good. He's a very, very good journalist. Yeah, he's a better journalist than DJ Academics and all of them, man. But like, when you go from journalism and you're pivoting and now you're going on other platforms and you're like glorifying this shit and saying that, oh, King Von is the most savage serial killer of all time, I'm saying, brother, like, I can't take you serious.
Now, do you think
Yeah,
that's an opinion that he's feeding into him just gathering information that's already out there?
Yes,
I agree.
but you don't have to glorify it. We all know that this guy has killed plenty of men and women. But like, you can't. Why are you sitting on the internet? You have a platform where a lot of kids, young people, are watching you from your background, like from like little white kids are watching you, and you know what I'm saying, and you're promoting this violence. Like that's just gonna create a negative image of black people for younger generations from that community. You know what I'm saying? Not that like they already have like a good image of black people, but it's just gonna make it worse.
All right. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds as though you're saying that he's very good at painting a picture of the man or the woman that he's speaking about. And in doing so, it gives others a better understanding of this particular person's character and actions that they have basically perpetrated.
Yes.
And that's a bad thing.
No, I think when you start glorifying it, that's the bad thing. But like, you can objectively do journalism. You can be objective with journalism. You don't have to like actually lean into it and say that raw. Like, I actually like this guy. I actually like King Von. What's there to like about King Von? Apart from his music, he's a sick rapper. Like, he's one of my favorite rappers. But like, he's a terrible human being. You shouldn't be putting man's face on your skin with seven glorifying that he's killed 7 people. Like, you know what I mean?
All right. So
who's done that?
So basically, Trapper Ross has a picture of King Von on his skin.
Wow.
With 7 skulls around.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's basically saying that aspect of Trapper Ross is what he doesn't like because it glorifies the wickedness that he's now being very, very proficient in detailing.
Yeah.
Like, so I think like DJ Vlad.
Contradiction or
sorry,
ironic? Okay, go on.
I said, like, I think DJ Vlad and Adam 22, they're more malicious with than DJ Academics because like they're actually DJ Adam 22, like the Crips that go on his channel, they just got done for a RICO.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? DJ Academics, like back in 2012 or like early, like mid 2010s, like people were dying directly, I would say directly, from the documentaries and the stories that he was putting on YouTube. Because, you know, like I said, people would see it, I'm saying, and then they'll feel like, right, I got to retaliate now that everyone knows that my friend's been killed by these people. Yeah. You get what I mean? So
and you
it's
know
just different.
To even add to that point, there's a second video that I want to throw up there, Brent, if you don't mind, yeah. But essentially in this video, yeah, he's basically Trapper Ross. He's now talking about the difference between Central C and Digger D, innit? And I think it kind of ties into your last point, innit? In a sense that in this clip here, he talks about how one of them is real and one of them is not. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you throw that out there, that's going to make people feel a particular way. That's going to make people feel like, wait a minute, I need to push more of this particular thing. You know what I'm saying? The world is looking at me being embarrassed. The world needs to know I'm real. Do you know what I'm saying? And also for those who are already living it, they now have to feel, they might feel additional pressure to live up to it, to continue sustaining that sort of image. You know what I'm saying? Even if they wanted to change. So I think it does add to it because these men are not just documenting and just saying, yo, he said this, this is it. They put their additional source as well.
Yeah. I feel like...
Go on.
So I feel like with Central C Digger D thing, like, I don't think Central C has anything to gain from trying to prove that he's bad, bro. Because like really and truly, he's made it. Like, he's a worldwide artist. Like, all he has to do is basically talk to his management and get those videos taken down. He's gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think Digger D's in jail right now for drug dealers. Or, you know what I'm saying?
It's a shame, man.
Anubis says the fact we call what he's reporting on the culture is a problem itself. Do you agree?
The fact that we call what he's reporting on the culture
Yes.
is a problem itself. I think it is a problem. I think it definitely is. But prior to him doing that, we saw it as part of the culture, right? We saw this as hip hop culture. I think hip hop, there's a reason why you add culture to it, because it's the life outside of just the music, innit? So I don't think that's his fault. Do you
Is
get what I mean?
Anubis saying, or going to follow on to say, we should look to root out these things so that it isn't seen as
As the
something
culture
that is
we
black
embrace.
culture?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think he's saying, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
But all I'm saying in response to that is that, and I don't think Anubis is saying this anyway, that Trap Law Ross, I don't think he didn't start any of this stuff, and he's just participating in what we've always called the culture, innit? Unfortunately, I guess. But yeah.
And people quicker go to hear a white man speaking about a particular thing than a black man or a black woman because of the shock value of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why it is when it is that they do the stupid dances and eat food. They're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
wow.
Exactly. Yep, and we feed into it.
Let's see.
Okay, go.
What we got here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Badu.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Vaughn says, I think you should invite Trap La Ross to be on the show. I think he's been on No Behavior.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. He's sat in this particular chair.
Okay.
Himself. And Anubis also says, be careful conflating American culture as our culture. He doesn't just talk about American artists, mind you.
Yeah, he doesn't, yeah. That's why I mentioned the Central C and Diggity thing.
Yeah.
But he's getting, at the moment, not too long ago, he got hotted up by Whack 100. Because what he did essentially, and I've got a clip there if you're interested as well.
Yeah, that's right.
He basically, something happened. So basically there's a situation with Big U, you know Big U?
Yep.
So for those who don't know, Big U is basically one of the main alleged leaders of the Crips, innit? And has been, I guess, for years, innit? He came out of Pence many moons ago. He was managing Nipsey at one point. People believe he's involved in Nipsey's death and things of that nature. So he was doing his thing. Without being disrespectful, depending on what side you're on, he's the equivalent of Whack 100, but for a Crip, right? And them guys were boys. They were doing business together and things of that nature. Long story short, he's involved in something now. He's involved in a RICO case, I believe, yeah? And Trap Law Ross heard some information or saw some information in... Read information. Thank you very much. Read the information that Big U said to the police, right?
Because of the flipping transcripts that he's reading.
Thank you very much.
He sent it to Adam whilst he was on air with...
Yes.
Yeah, Whack.
Exactly what Brent just said. He later says, though, he never read it. That's what Trap Law Ross said. He never read it. I just received it. As soon as I got it, I sent it to Adam because he was live. So I don't know what was in it. And Whack 100 basically pulls him up on it and basically says, essentially, I mean, obviously the agenda of Whack 100 is he doesn't want to be made to look soft, innit? He was in a situation where it was like 20 versus 1, innit? But he's like, yo, what Big U left out was the fact that obviously I made the 20 disperse. So he kind of had the agenda of trying to push that he wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have they didn't have the upper hand, basically. But he was also talking about the fact that this guy is just pushing information. He's not vetting information. And I think it goes past the journalism part. I'm adding this part into it also. That it's to push an idea. And when this idea is put to the forefront, you're going to make somebody like a Whack 100 respond. And if he was maybe a younger person, a person who maybe had less to lose or more to lose, depending on what you believe, he might respond in kind, man. He might be like, okay, no, this is what's happening, and I'm going to show and prove this. I'm going to film it. I'm going to do this, and pushes more of that negativity in the culture. Only for somebody like Trap Law Ross to sit back and be like, aha, okay, this is my next video done. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that also adds to the situation, which again ties in with what Badu was saying as well.
Cool.
But yes.
So, to wrap things up.
Yes.
Seeing as you have to go, you just arrived. Your opinion, your stance on this is probably layered, Mr. Leah. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
One, you don't like these criminals getting up to criminality, right? Rather it not happening amongst the civil folk.
No, I
Tarnishing our good name.
I wouldn't. No, I don't say that. I don't see it as they're different to us though, because I think everyone's just doing certain things because of circumstance, isn't it?
Did you apply that same thing to King Von and them man there?
I think so.
Really?
But yeah. But I think with time, like human beings, we all change, man. And if you're in an environment, you respond to the environment. And these guys have just gone off on one. You know what I'm saying? And the environment's not like it is over here. And do I think they're not enjoying it to some degree? I think to some degree, some of them are. Some of them are just crazy killers, unfortunately. You know what I mean? But nobody was born that way. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the environment.
You are, Mr. Laird, you are the leader of this breakaway civilization of all blacks. And you're looking to foster and facilitate proper productive growth within this new breakaway civilization. Do you harbor these particular criminals or the mindset that leads to this particular criminality?
Is that two different questions, or is it? Am I choosing?
Let's
one?
just say I said two. Split the two out and answer both of them.
So the first one is, do I have them in the community?
Yes.
Right, and the second one's more so, do I keep them in?
Do you bring them along?
If they can be, but you have to reform them.
When you say reform, it suggests as though you feel they're doing something bad.
Of course, that's it. Taking life, of course.
All right, okay. So if they're not able to be reformed, then you won't bring them along.
No, because we need something that's productive in our community.
All right. Now,
but I believe that we can, you know what I mean?
Let's just say you believe the people who don't want to be reformed away and you've broken away and your community grows and you take over new land and it becomes a thriving kingdom, right? So from 1,000 people, it's now 1 million people. And there are there's a disparity between two sets of people, one's poor, one's rich, and these environments foster the same outcome, right? And then criminality starts again. How do you approach that? Do you punish them?
I think with a lot of all these things, you have to have a punitive approach. Like certain things is just wrong and you need to punish. You have to discipline certain people with some punishment, you know what I mean? But I think just as important, if not more, is the rehabilitation stage to get people back into the community. Like all these people, again, the minister says, we're not evil by nature, we're evil by circumstance. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really true, man. We don't have the resources to coach everybody back into the narrow path, right? And all of us are falling short. All of us are terrible to various degrees, right? No one's perfect, but there's room, man. And I think, again, I don't want to make this about the nation, but I think that was the approach, for example, in the nation, where so many people, this is why it thrived with reforming people who were in prisons and people who are on the outside in everyday life who weren't being as productive, who were doing certain things that were just terrible to the community. It reformed them and made them productive people. And it just speaks to you believing in your community, believing in your people, that, we can be better than this. You know what I mean? We are of God, man. So let's behave in that particular way. And sometimes it needs to come with a rod, but sometimes, or just as much, it needs to come with the open arms, man. So I wouldn't give up on people. But if the people are out there just killing off the population, then we need to keep them away from us, man.
But how about it's not just killing off the population? How about it's pumping harmful substances into the population, and not just drugs? How about its ideologies?
Yeah, it's a problem. But I don't think you just kill people. I'm not saying you're saying this, by the way. But you don't just kill people because of the harmful ideology. I believe ideologies should be challenged in front of the world.
Don't jump to ideologies. Start with drugs and then go to ideologies.
The drugs is an immediate effect. We need to stop that immediately.
All right.
Immediately.
How about the glorification of that lifestyle? Would you allow it in your new breakaway community?
Yes and no. And I'm thinking off the top of my head. The reason why I would say yes is because you allow freedom And the reason why I'd say yes also is because people don't want that anyway. You could try and glorify it. We don't want it. It won't do anything here. Do you get what I'm saying? Because everyone's moved away to be a particular people and see the world in a particular way for a reason. We don't want that. So yes, you bring it over here. If we liked it, we'll buy it, we'll monetize it. You'll be able to monetize it. It'll become part of our entertainment. But we don't want it. So you have the freedom to bring this to us. Yeah, we don't want that. And so you would throw it away because there's nothing to gain from it. There's no profit. There's no incentivize. You know what I'm saying? Nothing to incentivize you continually bringing that to the people. And I think that's the best way to show something's not good for people, to allow people the freedom to bring it there and let the people say, we don't want this. When you hold it back, people are like, why are you holding it back? You know what I'm saying? Why? Why shouldn't I eat the apple? You get what I'm saying? And it makes somebody want to bite the apple. So, yeah. That's the reason why I would say yes or no.
Essentially, you would allow certain types of rap music with certain narratives in it. The same thing that some people accuse a certain demographic of pushing in order to dumb down the population. Yeah. Right? You would allow that in because free thinkers, it could be entertainment purposes. You don't think it's going to affect or influence?
I think it can do to some degree, but I think sometimes we don't know the harmful effect of censoring things. The good that could potentially come. If there's an agenda, we can stop the good coming in, and that's a problem. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I can, for example, if I'm deciding, you know what, I don't want this here because I see it as bad. If I have an idea that's anti-me, let's just say a Terence Howard idea. I could also say
what?
A Terence Howard idea, for example. I could also say, no, let's stop that too. But why? There might be people like you who want to hear this because it might inspire you to do something. It's necessary. Do you get what I'm saying? So you can't give that to human beings to decide. Well, it's not always the best thing. Let people decide for themselves. Do you get what I'm saying?
Are you equivocating that to like rap music that has bad messages in it?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm basically just trying to say when you let somebody control what is good and bad, it's a human perspective, isn't it? It's me saying that's good, that can go. That's bad, that can't go.
No, but the whole idea of you saying you're going to reform people, and if it is they can't basically conform, you're going to leave them where they are. You are deciding what is going to come into your new place.
No, but it doesn't come as with the constraints that you're saying. It's more so saying, understand this is what the situation is. This is the clear glass of water. This is what you've been drinking all along. You make the decision. Those of us who want this empty, clear glass, we're going here. And it may come in various forms. I'm not trying to make people, obviously in this hypothetical, think exactly the same as everybody else. I don't think that's productive for anybody. We need to have different people, like, you know what I mean? But the things that we establish as a community as negative, things that infringe on our quality of life, come on, man, that's a no.
Yeah, I'm aware, but that is a form of censorship. And you said you're not interested in censorship. You're literally deciding what rules you're going to be playing by in this new world.
Yeah, but it's not...
There's no problem with it, Mino. There's no issue with it.
I know, but I'm trying to make a distinction between activity and ideas. Do you get what I'm saying? Activity and idea, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm saying, it's not exactly the same to me. In my head is, okay, this is an idea. So like you mentioned, the ideology. Like you mentioned, the music. It's different to me, I don't know, doing the things I'm talking about in the music. Do you get what I'm saying? That is a no, because we want this particular thing in our community. But the ideas is different.
Okay, let me make this easier.
Cool.
The same thing that will disqualify these people who refuse to reform themselves or to conform to the Reformation or subject themselves to the Reformation. Yeah. That's placed in tracks. And are you saying you would allow it into your new kingdom?
What I'm saying, again, obviously, I'm thinking off the top of my head, but in my head, I'm thinking yes. And it's for the reason I mentioned, but also because I think we've all come from there. So we know what they're talking about, right? And I think because we are on a particular trajectory, the people can hear it and say, we don't want that. That's something we're familiar with, and we don't want that. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think it's better, generally speaking, that if the people decide on the thing, it's better than one person deciding on the thing.
And I think, I understand what you're saying. And I think that's where other people might disagree with this approach, because they probably see it as harmful, even more harmful, having these messages coming in.
Yeah,
you
100%.
allowing it coming in.
100%.
Because you know how the mind can be manipulated, influenced at different ages for different reasons, right? So you allowing that is you basically giving a rite of passage to it repeating again. And that same way of living that you left
Could come back.
could 100% come back.
No, I understand the risk of it, but I'm also understanding how human beings are. You give human beings control, you have problems. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they will now determine what's good and bad. And I don't know who you the hell you are to tell me what's good for me. You know what I'm saying? This is why I believe in minimum government intervention. You know what I'm saying? Economically. Because who the hell are you to tell me how my money should be spent? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, everyone's different. Everyone likes different things. Everyone should be able to have the freedom to express themselves and do certain things. And I think if we have right morals, wherever that is, you kind of make the right decisions for yourself. Generally speaking, human beings would do that. Not everyone, but generally speaking, people will make the right decisions for themselves. So if you expose me to this, I can say, you know what? You're talking about drugs and guns. You're talking about this and that. Like, we're living a nice life here. We don't want that, man. Give me something that talks about the sun that we, you know what I mean? Talk about the thing where I'm talking about how I'm raising my children. And, you know what I mean? Give me that instead, and I can buy your music. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's better.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, your position is probably different than what the Honorable Louis Farrakhan would probably argue, right?
On that particular thing?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I don't see him looking to
Allow that.
that particular type of
music, subject matter.
corruption,
Yeah.
to enter this particular vessel.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Somebody
Sorry, people.
Nope, nobody's waiting. All right, let's move into
Wrap up.
Did you say wrap up?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
I gotta go. Sorry. Yeah. All right, people. It's been a good show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Apologies for the interruptions. Hopefully, when the best part of my existence comes here, she will be less disturbing to you people. But yeah, today it's been a good day, man. And hopefully it will be a great day for everybody. After the show today, we spoke about the Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer saying, "I will only sign a US tariff deal if it suits the UK." He ain't gonna be scared or punked into Trump's agenda. This is what he's saying, basically. We also spoke about the two MPs that were deported from Israel. They accuse Israel of trying to control and censor. And obviously they don't like that, innit? We also spoke about, trigger warning here, the MP Dan Norris, who was arrested on suspicion of child sex offences and rape. We spoke about the US, i.e. Donald Trump, being open to having direct talks with Iran over its nuclear program. We spoke about the Palestinian Red Crescent Society as well, and how they've called for an international independent inquiry into what happened in Israel with the killing of 15 emergency workers in southern Gaza. These people over there in Israel are basically trying to say some of them were terrorists or whatever. You know what I mean? They need to make this inquiry happen immediately. And we also spoke about the EU offering a 0-for-0 deal to the US. Apparently, this was weeks before the tariff announcement. Apparently, Trump he's not for that, innit? He's not for that at all. We also spoke, and some good news here, about a baby girl who became the first child in the UK to be born from a womb transplant, which is obviously given a lot of hope for the thousands of women who are born without a womb. And unfortunately, we spoke about the death of a 17-year-old boy in West London who was pronounced dead at the scene on Saturday. This is in the afternoon, you know. And 2 teenagers who have been connected with it have been charged with murder. And we also spoke about the heavy floods in DR Congo, in Kinshasa, the capital, which has left dozens dead and it's destroyed homes. People were trapped. Sad scenes, man. And for our topic of the day, we spoke about Trap Law Ross, and whether documenting the culture, profiting, or whether he is documenting the culture, or he's profiting off the pain, and if I guess you see that as a good or a bad thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. If you guys want us to talk about that a bit more, let me know. If not, we're going to move into something else. Thank you, Joshua, as well. I saw your message in the Discord as well, suggesting the topic of the day. He suggested us speak about taxing the rich, and if that's a good thing in this country, innit? So I think that's a good topic of the day. Hopefully you guys will find it profitable. I'm pretty sure everybody will be against me, but that's a beautiful thing. We need to challenge everyone's ideas. We'll speak about that as well at some point, if not tomorrow. But yeah, more ideas for topic of the day. Please message me in the Discord or on Instagram. And yeah, man, let's make it happen. Brent,
remember, I'm looking for replacements for the TDA hosts, so keep on sending them applications.
If you feel like you can replace the people in there, send in applications. And
remember,
there you go.
It needs to be people in the head for them to think that's an issue. I don't think that's an issue.
That is true. At the moment, you'll be replacing empty seats. You know what I'm saying?
We need to keep this this broadcast going.
Yes.
Once we always have a constant stream of access to information and the ability for others to pitch in, i.e. Discord, then we will be all right. We will be all right.
That's right. And on that note, beautiful black people and allies alike, of course, have an amazing day. Yeah, man. And God willing, we'll see you all tomorrow. 8 a.m. ish. But yeah, man. Have a good one, people.
Later.
Thank you. Peace.
What do I press?
Oh, yeah.